What's poppin'? Turn your speakers up.
Turn these speakers up.
You're locked into the illest girls next door.
Look up, bump it in your stereo.
On BoominLive.com.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Bravery up, bravery up.
Okay, baby, we is back with another one. By the way, yes, I did get my voice back. So we back in business, baby. I'm Jay Benz.
And it's Yanni here, y'all.
And today we have a nice, very special guest that came to join Illest Girls Next Door. Give it up for Quis Chandla.
How y'all doing? Thanks for having me.
How you doing today? How you feeling today? Like,
I'm doing all right. You know, it was a great day for the most part. Nice weather outside.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm just excited to sit here and chop it up with y'all real quick.
Little traffic. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from Jersey City.
Jersey City.
Yeah.
First of all, Jersey City has like the worst traffic.
Yeah.
Because it's going into New York, and then it's just like, it's too much.
Are you
Going
from
in.
Jersey City?
Yeah, I'm from Jersey City, born and raised.
Ooh.
So going in and out, like we used to the traffic right there by the tunnel. So we got to fight that just to get across New Jersey, down south. So it's pretty much all the same.
Okay.
As far as like your career and everything, when did you start?
So, I mean, I do a lot of different things, but if we're, focusing strictly on music.
Yeah, your music career.
Music started for me consistently probably about 4 years ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was making music, early on. I dibbled and dabbled with like writing. I dibbled and dabbled with beats. Then I started doing audio engineering, I want to say about 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
When I started doing that, I realized that the school I was at the time, I was trying to find rappers in the area that could lay down tracks and I could work on mixing them, and I couldn't find anybody. So I started just writing my own,
Okay.
and then recording it, and I bring it back to the dorm like, yo, how this sound? And people would be like, that's cool, but like, who this? And I'm like, it's me.
Okay.
So they like, I like the mix, but I want to hear more. So then I just started like writing a little bit more consistently, and it just got easier. So I was like, it's fun, it's cool. And then, eventually I just tried to find a way to really make this something instead of just doing it for a hobby.
And what school did you go to?
I went to Centenary College for my undergrad. I went to Morgan State for my master's and my doctorate.
Congratulations. We got a doctor here. How did that make you feel, that accomplishment? Because honestly, I feel like I can't do school forever. Like, that's a lot of school.
Yeah, bachelor's and
So what advice can you give to people to push forward?
I'm gonna keep it 100. I never liked school.
Okay.
I hated school when I was growing up. Like, I was always kicked out of class. I was always suspended. I was telling somebody the other day, like, I remember my 8th grade year, I was suspended for like 35 days.
What?
Just because they didn't want me to interrupt all the rest of the kids.
Wow.
They had this, like, the elementary school and the middle school I went to, I was there for a very long time, since like kindergarten consistently. So they knew me early on as being like somebody who, they would call me smart because I would finish all the work before everybody else.
Yeah.
As soon as that's over, I'm just like talking to people about wrestling, Pokemon, like, what you want to talk about? So, when that happened, I was like, I'm done with this school stuff. Like, I don't really like it. I only do it because, we have to, like, legally. And I really went to college only because of, some of the things that was going on in my life at the time, my neighborhood growing up. And honestly, like, even that story alone is just kind of crazy. But when I did get to college, I understood, like, this was like a level of independence I wasn't really used to. So, that freedom alone just to make some of my own decisions and socialize with people and network, that's what really appealed to me. And I played college basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what really appealed to me in the long run. And then afterwards, it's like, this ain't really hard. School is kind of easy for me. So I just kept going just to figure out what I really wanted to do. And then, I found my way of, wanting to teach at the college level. And I was like, might as well just go get a doctorate because school kind of easy.
Okay.
So, my bad. So, if you didn't, what do you think you'd be if you didn't go in that direction?
I'd be locked up, honestly. I'd probably be in jail. I'd probably be on probation or something like that because before I went to school, like I was just like selling drugs and like.
What
in the
part of Jersey
neighborhood.
City are you from?
I'm from
sorry.
South Court.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm on Martin Luther King Ave. And,
All I know is Marion Projects, but that's only because of Albie.
the Albie is. Albie used to be in my neighborhood a lot. So I used
Yeah.
to consistently like see him outside, especially like when he started to get his buzz. He used to be around my way a lot. But I was like, at that point when he really started catching his buzz, I was already in school.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I definitely, one of the things that I think about is when I'm consistently doing something or something interests me, I like to go hard.
That's good.
So when I started like selling drugs and stuff like that, I started to want to go harder and harder and harder, and to where I was kind of like losing myself, trying to fight my friends, telling people they can't sell what they got on this block. I'm like, this ain't even me for real. I'm only doing this because I feel like I have to. So I'm just lucky that, by the grace of God or, whatever you believe in, that I was able to go to college and just, find another route.
Wow. So I like how you said you felt like you had to. So that's telling everybody that you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like school might not be the route for everybody, but I feel like there's something.
Yeah. You start to become a product of your community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's no reason to be, as you said. There's no reason to be.
I mean, sometimes in life you get pushed in positions to do things that you don't want to do. But you really got to go through every option that there is before you get to one that could change your life that drastically.
Yeah.
And I did that. I was like, this seems like at this point as a, 16, 17-year-old kid, this seemed like the last thing.
The only option.
And, like I said, school is there for that. And, if people want to go to school, I always tell them, like, if you don't know what you want to do, college is great. But if you figured it out, ain't no use for you going to school and being in all of this debt if you got it already.
Yeah.
You a grinder, you a hustler, you can get you a business. I'm all for that as well.
That's good advice. We need to hear that.
I was just thinking that, like, I know, like, we was in class today, and, like, my teacher just talking to me, like, but how do you know that's right? Like, is it school telling you to go to college? Is it your parents that's telling you to go to college? Why do you feel like you got to come to college? And I'm like, it to the professor, but it really, like, I was kind of thinking, like, who really told us to come to fucking college? Like, why is it a legal thing for us to go to school? Now, I get it, but why?
It's the wasting time and money if you don't want to be there. That's what I think about college. But back to the music. So you said you kind of started on the producing side, if I heard that right.
Yeah, my father.
Mixing and master.
Yeah.
I grew up in a single family household, so I was with my mom. My mom was a huge hip hop head.
Okay.
So early on, when I was like 7, like I used to want to watch cartoons, and my mom would be like, "Let's watch like music videos or let's put the radio on." And I'm sitting there at 7, like I don't care about none of this, and she's like persuading me. She used to go to like Biggie concerts, Puffy concerts, all that all the time. So when I used to go to my father's house sometime on the weekends, I got a half brother. We don't consider ourselves like half nothing. It's my brother. He 2 months older than me, and he was making beats on Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
So, when he used to come, I used to be like, "Yo, what's this?" He's like, "Oh, I'm making beats." I'm like, "What's that?" So he like broke it down to me, showed me what it was. I was like, "Oh, this cool." Then I started playing around with it. Then I was like, "Damn, this shit hard. Like, I don't want to do this at all. Like I barely want to go to school. Now you want me to study this?" So, once I got into the school thing of understanding, like learning and just being patient and stuff like that, I was like mixing and mastering looked like something cool because one of my friends had a radio show at the school. I actually ended up taking that radio show over once he graduated.
Wow.
So I just had access to all of this equipment. I had access to the mics. I had keys to the station. I was just like, let me go in here and see if I could build a craft around what all of this is. If I could become a radio personality, I could do that. If I could, learn how to mix and master, be an engineer, I could probably get some money doing that. And, it started from there, and then I just kind of found my niche and what worked best and kind of just kept moving forward. From that, I went and just worked on my first project, which was called, like, Baby Steps. And that time, I was going by Conscious Keys because I was, like, so woke. And I was, like, I was, like, one of the first people, I was the first person in my immediate family to go to college. And I was, like,
Well, congrats.
Yeah, so I'm, like, I'm black, and I'm learning all this information. I want to learn about my history and my culture and all of this, like... So I went in that aspect of it, and it kind of like boxed me in to where I felt like I was only speaking to one audience. And I think that from my story and what I've seen in my life, my story can definitely change a lot of different people. It don't matter where you come from or how your thought process is. So I started to do like a little rebrand and want to just make sure that I hit all marks to all targets of the audience.
That's dope. And at what point did you actually change it from Conscious Quis to Quis Chandla?
I went to Baltimore. When I moved to Baltimore to get my master's, it was weird because I dropped the album that summer before I went to Baltimore. When I got down there, I ain't know nobody. Okay. So I was like, I had no family, I had no friends. I was like, I don't know where to make no music. So right now I'm just worried about surviving.
Yeah.
Like where I'm gonna eat, like where do I socialize, like where's the restaurant, like where's the shop right.
So you just packed up and just did?
Yeah, I just left. And everybody in my family was like, how you just gonna leave like that? And I was like, because I think that there's more for me outside of Jersey. Mm-hmm. So what I did was, when I got down there, I was kind of separated from music for a little bit because I had to get to know people. I didn't know rappers. I didn't know no engineers. I didn't know where the studios were. So for like a year and a half, I didn't make any music. I was just still writing, and I couldn't record. But then I found this open mic, and I started to make a connection with a lot of different people. I dropped another EP, I think in 2015 with Be Conscious or Be Quiet. Did another one, Permission to Speak Freely, the year after that. And it was 2016 when I decided to change my name because I started to notice that I was just targeting one audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I wanted to branch myself out.
And expand more.
Yeah, and show people how diverse I could be. It's a lot of different, I've a bunch of experience, and I want to be able to make sure that anybody can hear it and it can relate to them.
Wow. So how does the music making process work for you? Like, is it based on emotion? Do you do it out of happiness?
Music is very therapeutic for me.
Okay.
When I think about some of the things that I went through in my life, not to sound cliche, but, I've moved around so many different times that I had to spend a lot of time with just myself. Mm-hmm. One thing that was kind of different for me moving to Maryland is when I got down there, leaving, home, going to school, going to class, going to work, coming back home, I ain't had nobody to talk to. So I'm going through all these things throughout the course of the day, and literally I'm listening to silence for the rest of the day until I go to work and go to class the next day.
Yeah, and the thing about colleges too, they literally go to class and dig. Like, people don't be trying to talk to you, make friends, nothing. Like, if you just get that person that you just start clicking with, it happens. But, like, it ain't no, like, high school, you got your little clique, you got your group and everything.
Mm-hmm.
No. Mm-hmm. It's literally like, I don't know none of y'all don't know none of me. I probably ain't never gonna see y'all again. Yeah. So, you know me, while this semester happening, let's make it work.
Mm-hmm. And it was a little bit different because, that was graduate school. And undergrad, I'm on campus. I'm kicking it with people. I'm in grad school. Like, literally, it's just adults, everybody. And I'm 22 at the time, so I'm like, I don't know what to do next. Like, I'm still trying to figure this adulthood thing out. So, I started to just write about, what sitting there with my own thoughts felt like, and this transition of trying to learn how to be an adult in a space where you don't really have that much support. All of your people are like 300 miles away, and you got to kind of figure this thing out. Mm-hmm. So, I definitely utilize music as a way or outlet for me to express myself. And, graduate school hard. It's hard as hell.
I was about to ask you, like, what's, like, the difference, like, from experience and everything? Like, what's the differences between graduate school and undergrad?
So when you're undergrad, you really get, like, this cushion to kind of explore, figure out what classes you like, figure out what you're interested in. Mm-hmm. You get to change classes. Graduate school is like, look, this is what it is. Yeah. You got to do this course, and then this course going to that course going to this course. And those programs, you can't get more than one C. Oof. If you get one C, they dismiss you from the program. So you got to be, like, strictly focused. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, I got my master's in social work, so they throw, like, an internship on you. And they tell you got to work for free 16 hours a week one year. Oof. The next year, you got to work for free 24 hours a week. So I'm, like, getting no sleep. I started working at this group home, actually this hospital for at-risk youth. And I was working there from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Sundays. That was the only time I had to work.
For that?
Yeah, for that I was getting paid.
No, that one he was getting paid, but the other one he wasn't because it was like the internship. But my whole thing is, how are you supposed to survive? Like,
I'm telling you, I got no sleep. No sleep at all. Like, I was literally class, work, my internship. And then, I really had no time for music. Eventually, I started to make the time, like, now I got even less sleep because I'm going to sit there and go to this open mic and the next day wake up and then go here, go there. So, after a while, it's like I don't know. I look back sometimes. I'm like, I don't know how I did it.
Yeah, I'm like,
I did it.
can I? But you know, like how certain things just take a toll on your mental health sometimes. Like, how did you wake up and keep going, knowing you had nobody? I mean, of course, you calling people, hey mom, hey dad, but like you had nobody, and you got up and you did that. Like, I would be in the middle of my room crying, like I want to go home. Like,
That
so
was me.
how did?
I'm not saying. Well, hold up. Like there was a time when I was going through that. I was in therapy.
Yeah.
Like every week, like sitting there, like I'm about to lose it. My
Oh, so
therapy-
you actually went to?
Yeah.
How, like,
We talk about that all
Yeah.
the time. Like,
how was that for you? Like, how was that taking the step? Do you recommend that people going through tough times should go see a therapist?
100%. I mean, by profession, like outside of music, like that's my area of interest in terms of my 9 to 5, my day to day, things of that nature. So it's like I'm always talking about mental health or aligning mental health with my music, because I subscribe to it. And going to therapy and just speaking about, like I said, that transition. Like I gotta talk to somebody. I got all of these thoughts. I gotta take it and like give it to somebody, or else I'ma just go crazy. So I'm stressed out. Yeah, my anxiety levels is through the roof. I got a paper here. I got my internship here. I gotta get to work on time. I gotta get some sleep. Like after a while, like I'm bugging out. And don't nobody ask you.
yeah, you okay?
They just want to know, like, yo, you coming to work? Like what time you gonna get here? You late again? I got a track that I got on my new album. I'm gonna talk to y'all about a little bit called 9 to 5 or Die. You feel me? And it's just about like the mental anguish of you going to work and you might be going through all of these things at home, and you get to your job, they don't even know, like your grandmom's sick, your mom might be dying. They like, yo, where your time card? Punch in, punch out. Yo, you over time. You still in time. Like, bro, like let me relax real quick. Ask me how my day was.
Yeah.
And when they do that, it's like that adds on like even more pressure on you. So therapy is something like if you're going through something in life, if you really feeling like things are getting overwhelming, like if you got Medicaid, you got Medicare. If your insurance isn't that great, like there's places for you.
Yeah.
You just gotta go out and find it.
That is definitely.
Thank you for sharing that with us, because we're big on mental health on this show, and it's glad that like it's good to see people taking that step and not being afraid or not having that feeling of people judging them. You know what I mean? So yeah, like you said, you were gonna talk about the music. What was that project that, what would you say, that kind of took you there? Like you were getting mad support. Everybody was like, I'm feeling this. Like what was that project that was like, okay, this is for me. Like I'm gonna keep doing this.
It was definitely Be Conscious or Be Quiet.
Okay.
I
that one.
kind of had a feeling you was gonna say that. Like,
Yeah.
The title just hard.
Yeah, the title is hard.
The title alone is just hard. Like that's
9 to 5 or Die
definitely dope.
too. I would listen to that like, what's this?
Yeah. I try to get like thought provoking titles and song titles and album titles whenever I have one. I'm like, and usually I think about it before I start working. I'm like, all right, this album gonna be called this, or this song's gonna be called that. But yeah, Be Conscious or Be Quiet was crazy for me only because like I was in Baltimore, and when I dropped it, it was a 6-track EP, and my man's Andy, like when I stopped making music, I sat there and primarily I did music with my guy Janah. Janah was making like all the beats that I was using when I was in undergrad. When I dropped my first joint, we was working together, and then this was actually a project we wanted to do together. So I hit him up, was like, yo, I want to get back in music. And he was like, bro, I've been waiting for you to get back in music. Like, come on. He sent me all the beats. I ain't had nobody to like lay the stuff down. Andy sent me some bread, because I was out there struggling a little bit. I couldn't do it on my own. Sent me some bread. I sat there and got a studio, in-home studio, and took a whole summer just learn how to like mix and master all over again in an in-home studio.
Shout out to Andy.
Yeah, for real.
Right.
So we did that, got the artwork done, like mixed, mastered, linked everything in, got it on distribution, did a release party. Like it was crazy. And like the feedback that I got from people who, most of these people didn't know me for less than a year. And I'm sitting there like, they're buying the album, they're coming to the shows, they're buying merchandise. I'm like, all right, well, I feel like this is something that I definitely can do, and people are subscribing to it. Like they see that I have some talent, so I might as well keep going.
Yeah. And you said you grew up with your mom, like she was a big hip hop head. Like what kind of artists kind of influenced you the years?
You couldn't tell me I wasn't Diddy. Like, listen, it ain't even appropriate, but
The
like,
dancing all.
yeah, like No Time by Lil' Kim. My mom used to act like she was Lil' Kim, and I'd be Diddy in the background. On everything I love, my mom bought me shades and this button up for Easter, and I told her, I was like, I want to look like that for Easter, and she went and got me the outfit.
That's so cute.
So it was Diddy. She was a big Pac fan. She was a big fan. Early on, like I would listen. Like I said, I would listen to Puff a lot and like the whole Bad Boy, movement. But then once I really got into my own artistry, I was a huge Nas fan.
Okay, because I was thinking too, like by everything that you're saying, you listen to people that actually speak in their lyrics.
Yeah.
That actually talking about something rather than like rather than like all the new music that's out and everything like that. And how do you feel about that? Like the way the music industry is turning into. Like, how do you feel about that from like back in the day to like now?
It's funny because when I started making, when I did Be Conscious or Be Quiet, trap music was like at an all-time high.
Okay.
Like Future was like
I was about to,
killing.
the wizard has been out of control.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He has been out of control.
He has been.
I don't know if you see like the little post where he did like the LOL was like when Shade Room was like Future's what was it?
Something about the
Alleged
baby mama.
Future's alleged baby mother. He gonna comment on the Shade Room LOL.
He different.
Oh yeah, when they put
He's
the text
different.
messages.
Yeah.
I've seen that too.
I'm like, oh, this man is wildin'.
But he had that run for so long that like we've always had eyes on him. Anything he said, like God bless all the trap niggas, like we subscribe to that.
Yeah.
You feel me? And when I dropped that EP, he was like on top. So I'm like looking like, all right, so where do I fit in trying to do this if like I'm really focused on like words and stories and concepts? Like, is this getting played out? But then I look at artists like Cole and Kendrick and Chance the Rapper and even like Joe Budden was like a huge inspiration for me in just storytelling and speaking on mental health, because he talks about mental health a lot in some of his projects. That I started to see my lane a little bit to where it was like, all right, I don't do this for fame. I do this because I want the music to be great, and I want people to be inspired whenever they play one of my projects. So when I'm looking at music and rap and being trap and being this and that, there's a purpose for everything.
Yes.
This exists for that audience. This exists for that audience. This exists for that audience. So when I'm looking at these situations back then, I felt a little intimidated.
Yeah.
But now I see the purpose of it.
It's even like undercover artists who's dope as hell, and it's like they have a certain audience, so they'll never come to the light, but best believe they getting money.
Yeah.
Joey Badass,
Love him.
Brent Fayez,
Yep.
How do you say his name? First of all, I love Brent.
I feel like he need a little more sunshine because his album was great. Like I felt like 2005 R&B in the shower, like it was a great
You
album.
know who we talking to that be in this? Summer Walker.
Oh my god!
And then another artist too
I
that
can't
like,
wait for her album.
He's different, but it's like WYRMLE or whatever Melly.
Melly, I like him.
It's like his R&B flow be like so hard, but he be talking about like guns with it.
Crazy stuff.
My little sister, she be playing that junk like every morning.
Yo,
I'm
Dangerous,
like, bruh.
Dangerous
Nah,
in
I
Love.
like it.
I was bumping that, and he's like, and I'm like, yo, Melly, like,
If y'all like that, y'all should listen to Lucky Day.
Lucky Day.
I
by-
love Lucky Day.
That's
Oh
an
my
artist
God.
or is that
Yeah,
a song?
artist.
He's an artist, and I recently got onto him because, like, I look in, like, the Apple New Music and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
me
I be
too.
in that category. He is, like, R&B to the next level. Like, his album, top to bottom, was crazy good.
Okay, I
Crazy
need to
good.
get into that.
Like,
Put them in your playlist for real.
I definitely see him being somebody crazy. People just sleep right now. I'm
know
so
what
glad
he
you
did,
brought him up.
though?
He's so great.
You know what he did? I noticed last week because I tried to play something that he dropped 2 years ago. He took all his old music off Apple Music.
Oh, really?
I
I'm, like,
hate
new
when
with
they
him.
do
Like, I found out about him
that.
this year.
No, it's another good
But-
artist named Number One.
I don't know.
Oh my.
How you spell it? I bet you it's not.
N-O-1.
Oh, put me on. Okay.
Like literally, like he be in his feels.
Where you from?
I don't know.
I like to know what artists is
But
from. Like,
I've been listening to him for like years though.
Oh, okay.
And like he recently put like his old music on Apple Music and everything. But like he'll like come into the light and then disappear.
Yeah.
He'll come into the light, disappear. But He's really good. Like number one, he's really
Only
good.
a small percentage of artists can do that though.
Yeah.
Like come in and disappear. Like
I feel like Rick Ross.
I want to be that type of artist,
love
but I'm
Rick
not there
Ross.
yet. But I promise you, once I get to that point, like
Rick Ross comes,
You definitely will be there.
disappears.
You gotta speak it into existence.
yeah. But
definitely
Ross didn't
do.
always do that though.
I know you're right.
Cause he was with Khaled like this for a little bit, Cool and Dre. Like he was dropping album after album. Now he's like, I mean, Ross
I
older
love
too.
Rick Ross.
And I feel like the people that come in and disappear is the ones that like you said, really care about the music and not the fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they quiet, you know something coming.
They working on something. Yeah.
First of all, I need Bryson Tiller to like,
Yeah, he.
rap it though.
I think he done.
Well, he got a
I think
baby
he
coming.
doing
He doing his
too, but
thing.
yeah, he might Lauren Hill it. And just like yo, y'all got it.
Y'all got that's it.
No, like I need him back in the universe. Like,
Oh my gosh.
come back.
Oh wait, question I wanted to ask. Is there any artist that you really want to work with, alive or dead? Well, you can choose both. One that's dead, one that's
One
alive.
that's alive and one that's dead.
One that's alive. I want to work with Lizzo.
Okay,
That's a hit. That's a guaranteed
I
hit.
can definitely dig
Yo,
that.
keep it a buck. I definitely want to work
Wow.
with Lizzo. Like I love her whole movement.
Yeah, she's on fire right now.
Yeah.
Like literally, like unapologetically, like herself. Like
Yeah.
it's so
no
great.
care in the world.
Like I
That's
go on
what
her Instagram.
love.
I'm like, she brave. Have
Yeah.
you been on her
She done took the
Instagram?
wig off on BET, but that's
I
what
love her.
I love her too, and that's why I kind of feel like Cardi too. Like
Yeah.
her personality is
Yeah.
the same one from back on IG
yeah.
from like 2015.
I will give
Bugging.
Cardi the kind of like. I'll commend her for being herself because I feel like a lot of artists coming in right now aren't afraid to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Cardi kind of started that. Cardi get on Instagram and do things where I'm like,
She doesn't care
and now
about
everyone's kind of
internet,
like, okay, I can be free. Like this is
Yeah.
okay.
But I don't like how like everybody's so sensitive and so judgmental
Yeah.
nowadays. Like, and I feel like that kind of like came about more of like the shade room. Like once the shade room started up and everything like that. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You had World Star. Remember, World Star was like another like
World
big
Star.
like outlet and everything. But they kind of shifted. They was more just on fights and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that. Like, but then like when the shade room came around, is when I feel like all like the little. You feel me?
They catch
Judgmental.
everything.
Like,
Like,
they
they
post
catch-
everything, but it's just like everybody just like got something to say. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
that comes
I mean-
with it.
we're all humans. Like, I'm not. Oh, why you don't got your head done? Am I supposed to walk around with the fuck my head done 24/7?
Yeah. I promise you, if I was famous, I'd be like, I'm going to the corner store. Like, what you talking about? I gotta have a fresh blowout.
The thing about that is just like, you know, everybody wants to record someone.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to pull the phone out and they have access to it. So I can hurry up and if I see you walking across the store, like, yo, isn't that blah, blah, blah. Send this to shade room. Yo, I got this for 10,000. Send this over. Yo, we seen such and such. We see Kanye West. What was it? They said he was eating his earwax the other day.
Really? Oh my god.
And they
Hey,
said
yeah.
somebody was like, nah, he eat his earwax. He sat there and he like, what he did, he touched his ear and then went took the gum out of his mouth and threw it on the floor.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you have people that, you know, see that there's value into just recording people and put on social media and I can get as many likes, you know, that's when individuals start to feel that they want to put information out there that may be sensitive.
Yeah.
Right? So it might be something personal that you might be doing in your life that I say, you know, I don't really care about. I want to sit there, record you. I want to take a selfie. I want to take a picture of you, right? Just because I was in your presence or I was close to you.
Mm-hmm.
When that started happening, that's when it started to feel like you had to be careful, you know, where you went and what you said because somebody's going to post it. Such and such
Yeah.
said this. I'm going to send it to Shade Room. Shade Room's going to send it to Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report going to send it to Wendy Williams. Now everybody got the story.
Yeah, everybody got the story, yeah. So what about the artist that's dead that you would want to work with? Well, would have wanted to work with?
Artist that's dead that I would want to work with. Damn, I never even thought of this.
Oh.
Artist that's I don't want to be like cliche like boom bappy or nothing like that.
I was kind of thinking you was gonna say like a Paco or Big, but
He said Lizzo, so I'm thinking maybe another
Alright,
female.
I don't know.
Actually,
you
actually it would be dope to work with Big.
Biggie.
Yeah, because he had like I feel like Big had this like competitive nature about him when he got on tracks with people. Like if you ever heard like Notorious Thugs and they talk about like Big really struggling through that track and he just went in kind of just did his thing anyway. I feel like he would like push me to want to compete as high as he is.
Yeah.
So Big would probably be the one.
Okay. I like the line of Lizzo, Big. I like that. No, Lizzo
Definitely
is a good
different audiences, different vibes, just high energy. Like I could agree with that and everything like that. Now, is there anything like going forward that you have planned? Like as far as music, even not dealing with music and stuff like that. Like what's to come with you?
So right now, like I said, I just dropped my new album, Coffee and Chemtrails, on all streaming platforms.
Ooh.
And as I continue to move forward with the things that I'm doing, I'm a full-time college professor.
Okay.
Wow.
What
So
college?
I teach at King.
Hold up.
Yeah.
What? Where? When? How? And what class?
I teach graduate level social work.
That's crazy. I literally, because I got my associates at Bergen Community College, and this is my first semester at King University.
Let's go, Jada.
Okay.
Literally, like, and I'm just like,
What program?
broadcasting and communications.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally a change for me. Like, it's different because, like, going to community college, first of all, it's cheap as all fucking hell.
Yeah.
You don't stay on campus, nothing. And, like, it was just like, community college is just simple. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm at Keene and everything. It's just like, all right, there's more people, there's more everything. The only thing that I could say about Keene, they didn't I feel like as a transfer student, there should be more help, in a way. Like, I just found out about Backboard, last week. I just figured out how to get my freaking email working, everything. But they didn't, they just took my money and just this your class, just figure it out.
You know what's funny, though? That's actually something that's common in schools for transfer students. Transfer students always have, some of the roughest times and getting acclimated because you got to think about it. You're used to, one system from, higher education, and then you got to transition to a whole new one.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, the teacher's talking about, this book. I just found out how to access the book online, and we got homework, and I'm like, y'all ain't tell me this. I've been trying to find it and everything, and it's just literally this whole September, I'm just still learning everything, and it's just
Baby steps.
baby steps. But I'm I don't want to be behind, but I feel like y'all should
I mean,
have
you gonna
a
get it,
transfer
honestly.
student class or something
That would be dope. That would be dope. See, what I tell my students all the time is that you got to advocate for yourself. So if you see that there's any gaps, I tell them all the time, if I finish my lecture, it's did y'all, is there something that's missing, something that you didn't get from what I said? Tell me now, so that way I'll be able to change it up for you.
Yeah.
But if they don't say it, I won't know.
Yeah,
I'm always that type of student. I get on the professor's nerves. I'll be like, I did not understand that.
I'm like, can you repeat that?
And then you never know who in the class didn't understand it either.
Yeah, honestly, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, we don't be saying nothing
They don't be saying nothing. I'll be like, excuse me, we don't get this.
And then everybody
What's
else is
number 9?
I wanted to ask the same thing.
I feel like you there. It's your time. It's your money. You better get everything you can get out of it.
Yeah.
And I being that because I took all my required class. I don't got to take a math, English, anything. I did all
Must
of that.
be nice.
Yeah, and I don't got to take no language, thank God, because I got my associates. So most of my classes is just communication classes. So all we do is just sit there and talk and nitpick and everything like that. And that's what I like, because I like talking, but I kind of like this different in a way from Bergen because it's deeper than it's just so much deeper.
It's specified to your focus what you want to do.
And I'm just saying I didn't even think of that.
Wow,
it's definitely interesting.
That's why I feel like it is
Keene is a nice
useful.
vibe though. It's just very chill, nice school. You feel me? The campus is beautiful.
Yeah.
You might see me there.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it.
Let's go.
You should. It's a great university. I mean, we try our best to, do what we can for the students. And I was grateful just to have the opportunity to teach fresh out, my doctorate degree.
Yeah, that's really
How'd you actually get the
Congratulations.
opportunity for Keene?
I put an application in,
Simple as that.
Yeah.
and I was trying to adjunct, and then I fit the requirements for a full-time professor. But I'm young, and I'm the youngest in my department by 12, 13 years. So I'm I don't know if I'm ready for this, but I've taught in the past, and it was my first time coming back here in the space of looking at a school. I was going to school in Morgan. I came here. I didn't really have any connections to any other universities. So trying to get my foot in the door ended up putting me completely in the building. So I fit all the requirements because I had the doctorate degree, and it was just definitely take you on board. So, I definitely appreciate it. and I want to be able, and like the question you were just asking, I want to continue to move forward in speaking engagements and different opportunities to show people the value of going to school, the value of being educated, and you know how going towards your dream or moving towards your dream is still feasible and possible at the same time. Like, you know, I'm teaching and I'm doing lectures, but at the same time I'm dropping albums. Like I dropped my debut album, The Notch Tape. I dropped that on the same week that I finished my dissertation for my doctoral program. So if you put your mind to it and you focus, you can get everything completed that you want. You just need a plan, and you got to stay focused and consistent.
Wow. No, that's a real round of applause.
I need a round of applause.
You know how lit it would be if I see my professor on TV. I'd be like, yeah. So I wish the best for you in that area, because you that's my biggest dream, to have everything going on with school, because I'm someone who really wants to get my degrees on board, you know what I mean? But also following your dream. It's possible to do both. So that's real inspiring, 100%. At least to me. So I think it's really cool. And another thing, you are sorry. We have a segment. Okay. And nobody is exempt from it. Okay. And it is called Dirty Laundry. And this is where you expose something, and you're a doctor, so you know, no indictments, nothing crazy, but you expose a little secret that you were gonna take to the grave that nobody knows, and you share with the Illest girls next door.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right.
Everybody got dirty laundry.
So one thing.
Anything you want to share with us?
So I did modern dance for a little bit when I was growing up, and it was probably the nerdiest thing I ever did in my entire life. Because, like, literally, we had these people come over from New York, and they were doing they were teaching us like choreographed dance, like literally like Michael Jackson and all that stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and
that's so funny.
I was like, it was something that they gave us in school for like an extracurricular activity, and I was like I told you, I didn't want to go to class. Can I do this then? So I'm out there like doing all the moves, like and shaking all of them, and they like, yeah, they're like, you're really good. Like you could if you want, you could join the program. I'm like, what program? I'm like, nah. Oh, we got a program in New York. It's called it was National Dance Institute, and they picked 3 of us out of the whole entire grade to go to Manhattan, and I went there every Saturday for like 6 months, every Saturday, and then we had this big old show like at the end of the year where we had like all these people from across like the world to come to watch us, a bunch of little kids running around doing choreographed dance. I was like, man, this is like not the most masculine thing in the world. I was kind of crazy, and if they knew I was doing this in my hood, they'd probably beat me up every day. But I don't really tell people about that, because that was another one of my, I just don't want to go to class, so I'm going to just do this.
I think that's really cool, though. Like, you always had music in you.
I guess. I like the spin you put on that.
Yeah. Changed it around, made it sound better.
Yeah.
Now, are there, like, any artists that you actually listen to from Jersey City?
From Jersey City? Yeah. My cousin P-Dot, he's actually got a project that's dropping next week. Actually, this week, called The Separation. So he's dropping that on the 27th. He actually got a release party that night, too. And it's a bunch of people.
I know, like, the main people that I know from Jersey City is Little Dev and Albie. Like, those are the only 2 that I know. Yeah. But Little Dev, he's nice. He's real nice.
I think he is.
Okay.
I think he has a lot of potential.
Now you gotta listen to me. Now you got him out.
Of course. Of course.
100%.
Now they I like them. Little Dev, actually, we do a show with my company, True and Living. We have a production company in which we release music, work with artists, put together shows. We have a monthly open cipher showcase called Where Beats Meet Bars.
You gotta send us an invitation.
I got you. We actually got the next one coming this Sunday. And it's gonna be at 8:00 in Brightside Tavern in Jersey City. And it's a very special event because it's not your typical open mic. We have artists come and they have to spit on random beats.
That's dope.
Yeah, send us info.
Yeah. So we got that coming up. Lil Dev's performed before. My cousin P Dot's performed before. And it's like a development league. I don't know if you guys know Jay Wonder.
Yeah,
Jay Wonder's won a couple of shows, and we actually pay the artists. So we pay the winner like $200 in cash.
Do you want to shout out that page specifically?
Yes, True and Living, TruenLiving LIVINLLC.
There we
And
go.
that's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Wow, that's really dope too. You do so much.
Right,
How do you
so
keep up?
Therapy.
Yeah.
Heard you. Now, as far as like your life and everything like that, like everything that you got going on, do you see yourself like picking up any other hobbies, or you just okay where you at right now?
It's a couple of things that I wanted to get into that I'm really trying to solidify myself with the things that I'm doing now, like do these things great and then move on.
Yeah.
I want to start creating like more programs and more events. So I'm looking into that capacity, how I can just open up another platform for artists to be able to, you know, increase their audience. I've thought about getting into acting.
You know,
Thought about it.
Yeah.
And I've also
can see
been
it.
looking to expand like my hosting. Because I host the event that we do. So people have asked me before, like,
I think
can
that's
you,
dope.
can you host an MCR show? And I'm like, I only do this for my show. But if I can find a way to get paid doing it, you know, might as well.
easy money, you just get paid to be there.
Yeah.
And-
And I've done that since I was like 9. I've been like doing plays and stuff like that. But I've never like took acting classes or auditioned for, you know, something else. I've always just kind of just like whatever just showed up in my lap, I just like, all right, I'll do this. But we'll see.
I just want to say, first of all, I wish you the best. I know Illest Girls Next Door
Definitely.
wishes you the
Thank you.
best.
And
like,
you need to come back.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes.
I had a
Of
great time
course.
with you guys.
yes.
So
And you need to come to our 1-year anniversary, too.
Yeah.
when is it?
We will be sending out a date soon, like 2
Okay.
weeks.
So as soon as you get it, send it over to me and I'll lock that in on my calendar.
Yes. I just want to say it was a pleasure for you coming on.
Thanks you for having me
Definitely.
again.
Thank you so much.
Shout out to y'all.
I actually enjoyed this. Like, this was a very good interview.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm J Benz,
I'm Yanni.
and we is out, baby. This is Illest Girls Next Door.
All right.
Let's go.